It seems that everyone is craving a sports utility vehicle right now. Fortunately, there are enough to satisfy every appetite, including these three alternatives to the usual German Audi, BMW and Mercedes triumvirate. That was Erin's word. I had to look it up. It means a group of three powerful things. So here is a trio of small premium SUVs as searched for on Autotrader with a monthly PCP price of around £400.
Or more like £600 a month if you've got the top spec Milano edition Alfa Romeo Stelvio. This mid-sized SUV is named after the hairpin bend pass in Italy, famed for its dynamic capabilities. Does a mid-sized SUV live up to those credentials?
This is the rather sexy and sporty looking Lexus NX. It's a hybrid, but you don't have to plug it in to charge it. It's got low CO2 emissions when you compare it to other cars in the class, and while you might not get close to the more than 50 official MPG, I've been getting around 35, which isn't half bad.
This E-Pace is the smaller version of Jaguar's best-selling model, the F-Pace, but this car is heavier, and that's mainly due to the fact that underneath this aggressive R-Design spec body are components more in common with Land Rover's Discovery Sport. I think the layout is really good in the Jag. Everything is in its logical position. The only thing I've got issue with are the buttons. Some of the controls feel a bit cheap, and particularly this dynamic toggle here.
I also feel really hemmed in the front.
You need to be hemmed in because this is a Jaguar. I will be going very, very fast and you need something to grab hold of.
Yeah, well, I've got absolutely no grab handles in the back, so I'll be slipping around all over this delightful red leather. On the other hand, I'm wearing an activity band, which my kids and we have trialled on other Jaguar Land Rovers and we absolutely adore it. So basically it's your key for the car.
Now the entry-level E-Pace models are front-wheel drive, which most cars are on the road, but it's a really clever system that can turn this car into a four-wheel drive if needs be.
Slippery grass and all that.
Yeah, exactly. And even in the sporty versions can go rear-wheel drive. Jaguar sports car heritage.
Sporty.
Yeah, but what's not very sporty is the 9-speed automatic gearbox. It's just quite slow to react up or down. But when you think about Jag, what springs to mind?
Britishness.
Yeah.
Premium.
Sporty, comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does this car tick all those boxes?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Big
it
tick.
does.
The touchscreen infotainment system is the same that you get in Jaguars, and the system isn't bad to use. It's not as good as the best out there though. You do get a Wi-Fi hotspot.
How does that work?
You can connect up to 8 devices, so smartphones, tablets, and use a little SIM. You can also pair it up with your smartphone contract.
You're such a dinosaur, Vix. If you were 25, you know exactly how that works.
Come then, dinosaur, we've got in the back.
It's nice. What can I say? There's quite a lot of room there. These shocking, awful Isofix caps again, which as soon as you take them off, you lose. But it does mean the bars are easily accessible. And it's a really plush place to put your family.
So long as they're happy.
As long as they're happy, we're all happy. So, girls, Alfa Romeo, Italian brand, motorsport heritage, has built an SUV. Sacrilege?
No, I think it's fantastic. Get more people into the brand, and this car looks really good outside the school gates.
Yep, Bentley and Rolls-Royce are doing it. Why shouldn't Alfa?
Now, up front here, I feel it's more cluttered and sort of more old-fashioned than the Jaguar, but I really love these whopping great big gear change pedals, and of course, Alfa's DNA sort of response system, which stands for
Do not activate.
Dynamic, Normal and All-Weather.
You do also have these lovely embossed seats, which I love.
This car is the biggest here, the tallest, the widest and the longest, but it's got the most impressive performance figures. The chassis is good, but when it comes to handling and going around corners, I'm a bit restricted on the steering because these massive, great big side bolsters limit me, and I have to open up my arms like wings.
Nobody wants to see your bingo wings.
Yes, if you could stop flapping, please, because I can't see the screen. You only get a sat-nav from super grade upwards, but it's not great. The graphics need to be sharper, and it just doesn't show you anything. You control the whole system via kind of the BMW style iDrive controller, which is nice, works pretty well.
Mind you, in the back, 5 stars for the Alfa because it's got the most fantastic ISOFIX solution I've yet come across.
Oh yeah.
Which is that the bars, which are really easily accessible, are just covered by flaps that stay attached to the car.
Attachable flaps.
I love an attachable flap.
It's not quite as sexy in here as it is on the outside, but it's very distinctive.
It's steeped dash, isn't it? Which is quite an unusual thing.
Build quality is really good, and there's a nice variety of materials about the place, but there are a lot of buttons, and it's not the easiest place to find your way around.
Loads of space in the back here, shoulder space, width and legroom as well. Not a great deal of height in the middle here, but you wouldn't expect to find me sitting in the middle of your rear seat. There's good space in the boot too, although I think not as much as a Stelvio, but all 3 of our cars this week have generous family space.
Stelvio's got the best boot, but this might have the best party trick.
I say, it's a strange little compact mirror right in the middle of the car with a leather surround. Is that practical or patronising?
Well, I have a mirror here, so I don't think I need it, but
Nice to know they're thinking about us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every other manufacturer of decent small SUVs offers a diesel option. Lexus does not. You can only buy a petrol engine or a petrol electric hybrid one, which this is. So you can set off in electric mode only, so it's really, really quiet. But then when you put your foot down, you've got a CVT gearbox, which is like a pulley kind of system, old fashioned, and it makes a heck of a racket. Plus, you don't go that quickly.
Nope.
What does CVT stand for, ladies?
Continuously variable transmission.
As well as the gearbox being annoying, I'm not sure if it's quite as annoying as this mouse-style touchpad that you use to control the infotainment system. It is hella awkward to use, and it's got this weird feedback on it.
Yeah, I've got a shaky left hand, and I tell you, I cannot activate anything using that with it. Added to which, I seem to have broken the back of the car.
What?
Well, it's got one of these central seat belts that pulls down from the roof. Fine, except I can never remember where the various bits click in, so I think I've done it right. But if I have, then the left-hand bit is anchored in the middle of the left-hand passenger seat. So what happens if someone is sitting here?
And now for a spot of cultural appreciation. It's an off-road comfort test for our 3 SUVs.
Right, ladies, now in order to really put an SUV through its paces off-road, of course, one has to prepare a meal. It's not what one always does. Now, we're in a Jaguar. What could be more British than the ultimate English cuisine, which is, of
Fish and
course,
chips.
Chicken tikka masala.
it is, of course, the quintessential ploughman's.
Oh, lovely.
I've got my little board. So far, so smooth. And you don't want salt and pepper going everywhere, do you? I've got a little snack egg. No, there goes the salt. Oh, look at that.
I can't see because obviously I'm driving.
Oh, there it all goes. I've got sweaty slices of cheese singles. Look at that baby. That's a fine way to celebrate the perfect British car, isn't it? So the finest way to test Alfa Romeo Stelvio suspension, which I'm surprised none of the engineers thought about, is to make spaghetti.
Pasta la vista, baby. Do you cook, Erin?
Crikey. Yes, Vicki, but I don't make pasta every sodding day of the week.
Something's coming out of this.
Is it spaghetti?
Is it edible?
If you want it to be spaghetti, it can be spaghetti. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh no! I'm so sorry.
Is spaghetti, does it have to be individual threads?
No.
Yes.
Look at that. Check it out. Yeah? Now then, ladies, a little lesson for you in Lexus heritage and design, which is not a route we often take in the REV test. But today we will be learning all about Takumi craftsmanship. For this very reason, I will now attempt in the short off-road course that Vicki performs to do a 5-minute origami set. Let's make a swan. First of all, we fold the paper. Wowzers. Then we're going to fold this bit.
Just like Blue Peter, so you've got one that you made earlier.
Totally like Blue Peter.
Squirrel.
Very.
Squirrel.
I could do a dead squirrel. Would you like me to do some roadkill? Because that's what this is turning into. Well, that is Takumi craftsmanship, don't you think?
I don't think Takumi would be too chuffed with that. So I think then that the Jag was the least comfortable off-road, followed by the Alfa, and then this was the most comfortable. Though your origami does not quite back that fact up.
Which was the most complex case.
Each of these small premium SUVs shines, but in very different ways.
If you're after practicality and reliability, go for the Lexus.
If it's passion and style you're after, it's got to be the Alfa.
Or if you want a good chassis and great body control, then the E-Pace R Dynamic is for you.